Tampa.
Moving to Florida.
Florida resident.
My property in Florida.
Palm trees, warm weather, no tax state. Dude, it's no wonder why Florida is amazing for Airbnb investing. Whether you're a seasoned investor or you're a beginner, getting that cash flow is amazing. Let's get into why Airbnb investing in Florida friggin' rules. Number one, Florida has year-round tourism, which really surprised me because I figured being in Canada and probably in the northern states, I thought we all just go down to Florida for the winters only, but for the summer, it'd be way too hot, no one's going there, so there's probably nothing going on in Florida.
But boy, was you wrong.
My property manager told me was, hey man, in the summer, there's actually a ton of tourism, not from Canadians or upper states, but from lower states.
Damn, son, where'd you find this?
Especially for the July 4th celebration and like pretty much all of July, it is totally booked from people in the lower states. Essentially, the point I'm making is you don't want to invest in a one-hit kind of area that's only good for a few months of the year. You want to invest somewhere where there's potential for business all year round, and Florida definitely has that. You know, in Florida, they have different areas for different people. So obviously Orlando, Central Florida is more so for families, kids who are going to Disney. So there's that whole attraction. On the East Coast, we have Miami, Fort Lauderdale, more hustle and bustle, but also rich vibes.
Sensational.
If you go more north towards Palm Beach, basketball games, sports events, they tend to be more so on the East Coast. On the West Coast, we have the sunsets, family, long-term vacation, which is the clientele that we really strive for, that we really specialize in, hanging out in the pool. The water's warmer, it's safer, it's quieter. All these different attractions all in one state, you know, 3 hours away from each other, which is really cool. The second reason why investing in Florida Airbnbs are awesome is that there's favorable regulations in most of the states. So in most of the cities that you'll be wanting to invest in, they're pretty lax and landlord pro towards Airbnb, where they don't have too many regulations.
I'll say that kind of with a caveat because
depending on the certain cities like Miami, for example, and all of Miami-Dade County, there are specific areas where you have to have a 7-day minimum rental or a 28-day minimum rental. There's only certain pockets in the East Coast that I found so far anyway that allow kind of freedom to do what you want, 1-day rentals, 2-day rentals, like whatever, which is really what we're striving for. But as you get north towards Palm Beach and north of even that, that's where it kind of opens up and it's kind of a free-for-all, which is really great from my understanding. We specialize more so on the West Coast down to like Naples area. And for the most part, you can kind of do what you want in Naples City specifically, especially if you're outside of an HOA in Naples, you can do what you want. So you still have to know where you're investing, but for the most part, you can kind of do what you want, which is really great for us being an investor. Number three, Florida has very strong rental demand for long-term and short-term. Now we're talking about short-term for this video. For me personally, I wouldn't really invest in long-term real estate in Florida just because it is just so vacation heavy. Now, that's why we do the short-term, which is Airbnb, which is strictly vacation for people coming down here in and out kind of stays. Between all of those different themes or clienteles, there is so friggin' much rental demand for vacationers. You don't even understand. Now, a lot of people will say, myself included, there are a ton of Airbnbs, too many, tons of them. So you would think,
how can I compete? Why would I get in? There's just like thousands and thousands of them.
That is true. There's still not enough for the demand that wants to come and vacation here, but specifically for what we care about, quality demand, quality properties. 95% of all the Airbnbs out here in Florida suck. They're not renovated well, definitely not furnished well. They're not planned and designed well for once in a lifetime kind of experience. The investors down here are spoiled. They know they're in Florida. They know it's sunny most of the year. They know they're gonna have people come down here. So they just toss up their crappy ass property on Airbnb and they hope and pray that it'll get rented. And it does. It still gets rented all the time. But if your property kicks ass, you're following kind of the Fruitful method where we care about design, we care about quality furnishings, we care about providing amenities in the properties that our vacationers would never even have at home, like an espresso Breville machine, Vitamix blender, Tempur-Pedic mattresses, high quality organic cotton blankets and sheets. Like, we're doing all this kind of stuff to blow the customer's mind, and so far in our properties, that's exactly what's happening. We're killing it. The reviews are freaking amazing because we're just going that one step above and beyond. So for example, you know, a normal shitty investor, which is most of them, would spend, I don't know, 20 grand furnishing their entire single family, you know, 4-bedroom house, and then they would just go to IKEA and just get the shittiest crap, you know, just terrible stuff. So instead of spending 20 grand, you know, we'll spend
40 grand.
USD. So we'll double that for sure.
well, why would you spend more? It's not gonna get that much more in cash flow.
It does get a little more, but the biggest thing we care about is the reviews. People are like, holy shit, like this is crazy. They're comfortable, they relax, they enjoy, they're spoiled. They're getting spoiled because they don't have this stuff at their house. You're already spending like 250 grand, 300 grand USD to buy, renovate, like do all this stuff. Just spend 20 grand more on the furnishings, which is the most important part, is the furnishings. Number 4 reason why Florida investing in Airbnb is awesome is that it's affordable real estate in comparison to Canada, and in comparison, most likely if you're watching this from northern states, especially California. So where we are, we're 1 hour south of Toronto, that's where I'm from. That's where we specialize in real estate mostly. And a single family house, your typical 3-bed, 2-bath, single family 2-story house is 700 to 800,000 minimum. Which is like $2 USD. No, it's not. Okay, but still, it's a lot of money. And that's pretty much for a piece of crap at this point. You still have to renovate and do what you want to make it your own. So here, we're buying that same house. 3-bed, 2-bath bungalow is 300 grand, 350, 400 max for the areas we're looking at for a nice house. Like, that's crazy. 800 grand to 300 grand. And we're 20 minutes from an ocean, and we're 2 hours from Disney, and you can see the sunset every night, etc., etc., etc. The affordability in the US and Florida specifically is amazing. That's because it's just a bigger country, bigger population. Canada, like I always say, there's not nearly enough real estate for the population we have in that dense area. So if you want to invest in Canada, but your money's not going far enough because you literally need like $500,000 literally for down payment, renovations, whereas with that same money, you could buy 2 properties down here in Florida. So you can just scale so much faster. The cash flow is better here, the quality is better here. So I'd way rather invest down here and put my money down in the US, which is what we're doing. And last but not least, number 5, growing population. So the population in the US is growing insanely, but especially in Florida. People are coming down here because there's no state tax. It's a freedom state, especially what happened for the past couple of years. I'm not gonna say it, but you can probably know where I'm going from. The C word is kind of over, especially in Florida, it's long over. But it's still, people are still realizing, hey, why would I live in Connecticut? Why would I live in New York? I'm gonna go down to friggin' Florida. More opportunity, more jobs, which is just blowing up like crazy.
Oh, baby, a triple!
So guys, that's the video. Smash that like button. Also hit that subscribe button. I'll see you in the next video.